Hello there, everyone! A few months ago, I reviewed the 1967 film Up the Down Staircase starring Sandy Dennis and directed by Robert Mulligan. And today I'm going to be reviewing the 1964 novel of the same name, written by Bel Kaufman. I read it on the Kindle, so that's what we got for a cover. I had wanted to read Kaufman's book before seeing the movie, but my mom talked the movie up so much that I just went ahead and saw it, and then because I liked it, I wanted to read the book, but I also wanted to put a little distance between the two, so I waited. But recently I saw Shannon Riddler mention it in a book haul, and that reignited my interest, so I checked the ebook out of the library, and I read it in a couple days, and my only regret is that I waited so long, because I absolutely loved this book. Up the Down Staircase follows Sylvia Barrett, a young new English teacher experiencing the many highs and lows of one semester in an inner-city high school. This book is written in an unusual style. It doesn't have a traditional narrative. The first chapter is dialogue only. No setting, no descriptions, no tags. It's just like an audio capture of Sylvia and the students in her homeroom on the first day of school. It's chaotic and fast and perfectly emulates the confusion and noise of the classroom. And from there, the book tells the story using a variety of different devices, such as Sylvia's student suggestion box, her mailbox, a student's notebook, and one of my favorites, the class trash can. We also get to read Sylvia's letters to an old school friend, which gives us a more intimate look at her impressions of and feelings toward her students and colleagues, and to see how those feelings change. I'd heard something about this unconventional method of storytelling, and I was worried that it might be confusing, but it wasn't. It worked so well and enabled Kaufman to use realistic examples like typewritten memos and misspelled doodled-on notes to let each student and teacher and administrator speak for him or herself. I also loved how humorous the book was. I laughed out loud many times, though some of what was funny was also maddening, the kind of thing that if it was happening to me in real life, I wouldn't be laughing, I'd be banging my head against the wall. A lot of the humor comes from the endless barrage of ridiculous, contradictory announcements from the school administration. That's something the movie touched on, but the book emphasized it to a greater degree, and according to Kaufman's introduction, many of the mind-boggling rules and frustrations that she included were taken from her own teaching experiences. What also amazed me was realizing how little has changed, whether it be the individual personalities or the shortcomings of the public school system. Even though this book is over 50 years old now, so much of it felt familiar. I could identify certain teachers with teachers that I had or friends of mine had, like the teacher who hates kids and shouldn't be teaching, or the teacher who just wants the kids to like her, so she's popular, but she's not actually respected by her students and she's not effective at her job. And as far as the students go, yeah, the slang has changed and we're living in a technological world now, but kids are still kids, dealing with the same problems, and this book takes on a lot of issues. It is one teacher's struggle against setbacks and disappointments, but it's also about the kids. Teenagers from difficult backgrounds who are wavering between childhood and adulthood, who are crying out to be heard and valued and taken seriously. Kaufman somehow found a way to show that and to tie it in with Sylvia's own frustrated attempts to reach out and communicate. Having read the book, I can now say that the movie did a very good job adapting the story. Part of what makes the book so unique is the way it's told, and the movie had to dispense with that feature, of course, but it still captured the experience and all the various characters and their different struggles. If you saw my review of the movie, then you may remember there was one part that really bothered me, really got under my skin. Comparing the two, I would say that situation was done a little differently in the book. The way they adapted it to make it work in the movie, I think, might have actually made it a little more effective. At least for me, it was more intense that way. They kind of intensified certain elements, which made me identify with it more, made it more intensely humiliating. But I would say if you liked the movie, then you would probably like the book, and vice versa. I have had a few disappointments in the reading department this year, and it was refreshing to read something that I enjoyed so thoroughly. I loved this book. It made me laugh, it made me cry, it was frustrating, it was inspiring. I can see myself reading it again sometime, and I certainly recommend it. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I will put a link to my review of the movie version down in the description below. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!